Small and mid-sized enterprises (SMEs) are businesses that maintain revenues, assets, or a number of employees below a certain threshold. Every country has their own way in determining what is considered as SMEs. There are certain size criteria that must be met, and occasionally the industry in which the company operates in is taken into account as well. The criteria vary for SMEs that focuses on different sectors. For example, according to the SME Corporation Malaysia, for the manufacturing sector, SMEs are business that has a sales turnover that does not exceed 50 million ringgit or have not more than 200 full-time workers. Meanwhile, for the services and other sectors, SMEs are business that has a sales turnover that is not more than 20 million ringgit or having not more than 75 full-time workers. These are then broken down into three more categories, which are micro, small, and medium, that makes up the SMEs. Musa Engineer stated that the SMEs plays an important role in the Malaysian economy and are regarded as the country's industrial backbone. Malaysian SMEs are on course to contribute 41% of the country's GDP by 2020, up from 32% in 2012, and are now suppliers for multinational corporations in the global supply chain. Based on business news, many entrepreneurs have improved their company's ability to reach the export market as a result of the exposure and skills gained. Service, manufacturing, agriculture, mining, and quarrying and construction are the different types of SMEs in Malaysia. In 2012, SMEs increased at a rate of 6% while GDP grew at 5.6%. Services, manufacturing, and construction were the main drivers of SMEs in 2012, and these sectors supported the GDP growth.
The involvement of the SME sector can be seen as increasingly important in a country's economic growth, but the position and contribution of Bumiputra SMEs is still struggling to keep up with other races. It is undeniable that the number of entrepreneurs has been increased from year to year, but the wishes of the government still not achieved. While the government has spent a large allocation through entrepreneur development programs that have been implemented. In addition, in collaboration with the World Bank, the government has conducted an analysis to determine as to if factors that drive MCC performance can also drive SME performance to the next level. Based on the outcome of the World Bank's Productivity and Investment Climate Surveys, 6 issues have been recognized that influence the functioning of SMEs in Malaysia, notably the use of innovation and technology, human capital development, access to financing, access to markets, the legal environment and regulation, and infrastructure. Because SME entrepreneurs use simple and low-tech machines, the manufactured goods are also limited. Inefficient management, outdated technology, and a lack of innovation all impede the growth of SMEs. There is some SME company that use old technology and actively recruits employees for specialized training or courses, despite the fact that there is a need to improve employee morale throughout the organization in order to increase productivity. When compared to other major companies that can hire employees based on their experience, skills, and qualifications, SMEs are unable to offer better incomes for better services. Many SMEs pay insufficient attention to improving their workforce skills and knowledge, or are hesitant to take benefit of government-sponsored training programs. Other than that, company management problems. Typically, SME entrepreneurs must not practice full specialized knowledge and would do a variety of tasks on their own with the assistance of family members as well as some employees. SME entrepreneurs frequently lack skills and experience in business management. Because of this lack of systematic management, the company is unable to achieve optimal levels of production and efficiency. Low product performance and quantity harm SMI's relationships with large industries. Although SMEs provide support to heavy industries, some heavy industries prefer to obtain elements from the heavy industry itself or from its subsidiaries. This is because SMEs have failed to fulfill contracts as required by a major company, fails to perform agreements as a consequence of SMEs receiving heavy industry subcontracts again. In our current situation, the impact of COVID-19 on the Malaysian economy during the Movement Control Order or PKP period was so great that growth became negative. The execution of PKP either directly impedes financial activity in SME or simply allows economic activity to start moving at a slightly slower pace than it was before. Many SME have difficulty in running the business as the public's movement restricted. SME were affected by declining demand and difficulties in obtaining resources for production. It also affected the employees as the business did not earn very well, so the employer had to cut off budget or even the company cease operations. Also, when they open their business, they have to follow the standard of procedure SOP. Some of the business are required to only open until 6 p.m.
The government have made several initiatives that bring some good and bad implications to the productivity and performance of the SMEs in the country. First is in terms of adoption of technology. As we all know, some of the SMEs products are mainly handmade, produced by the local entrepreneur, which the usage of technology is very minimal. According to Yeo Chen Cho, the co-founder of Faith Asia Technologies Neighborhood, said that the SMEs in the country are left behind with other countries in the region because of lack of ICT adoption. Therefore, the usage of technology like ICT is very important where it can enhance their ability to compete in the business world. The second implication is increase of skillful entrepreneur. Most of the SME entrepreneur are from the local people that basically live in the rural or sub-rural area of the country, whereby most of them are lack of skill in managing their business effectively, as they only base on their normal experience on selling product. SMEs are frequently hampered by a variety of issues, including a lack of experienced workers and technological know-how, a lack of innovation through research and development R&D, a lack of economy of scale, and the inability to discard previous operating methods. Therefore, it will impact the flow of production as they are still using the traditional ways that is not compatible for the current situation. Hence, with this improvement of skilled workers in the SMEs management sector, it gives good impact especially to the SMEs itself as it will increase their number of production and the performance, which indirectly help to contribute more to the country economy growth. The third implication is the implication of COVID-19 restriction order. We all know that the COVID-19 virus is very infectious, so the government have imposed the movement control order MCO, which restrict people to go out socializing in order to reduce the contact between humans. The coronavirus has a huge impact on SME businesses' activities all over the world, as they cannot open their store to sell their product. This situation getting worse when some of the SMEs is lack in adoption of technology and lack of skillful workers. Furthermore, the MCO have leads to cash flow issues, shutdown of operation, layoff, retrenchment, and reduced businesses' ability for future development. Therefore, the SME entrepreneur have to react fast in order to adopt with the new norms. Although the MCO give bad impact to SME sector tremendously towards their productivity, but there also some good impact such as they learn how to improve their businesses to make them survive in this critical situation.
As for the suggestion on small and medium enterprise issue, the government should come up with a policy that encourage and promote the development of local technologies. The development of technologies may bring longer-term advantages in terms of adoption of technology and new practice. In addition, for small and medium enterprise to fully develop and use technology potential, they need specific policy measures to ensure that technological services can be provided and requisite infrastructures are available. The government needs to draft and formulate specific policy related to the technologies enhancements on small and medium enterprise to ensure that they are using the updated machines in their operations to obtain full benefits and profits. Another suggestion on the management problems due to lack of skill and experiences, the government may come up with a training centers for offering managerial and technical courses for the small and medium enterprise. Another suggestion on this matter, the government may establish organization of training for managers and staff of small and medium enterprise in the foundations of innovation management, skill enhancements, experience giving, and so on. Thus, there should be a business information centers to assist the small and medium enterprise in the matters of training and development. The last suggestion on the COVID-19 pandemic impact to small and medium enterprise, the government should come up with proper regulatory policies that are small enterprise friendly. Since the majority of small enterprise lack finance during the pandemic, the government should establish a friendly small loaning system. This would include low interest rates to ensure that continuity of these business. Besides, the government also can provide guarantees to commercial banks to support their small and medium enterprise lending. The measures may include the increasing loan funds or making loan schemes more accessible by expanding the pool of prospective beneficiaries, simplifying and speeding up loan application procedures, and giving more favorable terms and lower interest rates.
To summarize, we can see that there are problems that occurs on development of SME in Malaysia, which the Bumiputra SMEs are having difficulties in order to catch up and compete with the other businesses. They also inefficient in managing their SME, and they also lacks in skills and experience if compared to big companies. This led to SMEs being questioned whether they are still relevant in the market since they are lack of ICT adoption that improves their productivity in their business. Furthermore, when days pass by, skillful entrepreneurs are also increasing day by day. SMEs are left behind because of the keys which they do not have, which are the key of innovation, key of effective and efficient, and the key of skills.
If they have these three keys, they may be productive SME, and they surely can compete with other businesses. In the current circumstances of COVID-19 pandemic that occurs in Malaysia, SMEs become badly affected because the order from the government to impose MCO to curb the COVID-19 viruses from spreading in the country. Means that the people cannot go out socializing, that led the SMEs cash flow issues, shutdown of operations, layoffs, retrenchment, and reduce businesses' ability for future development. Although that there are ways in order to help the SMEs. One, the government should introduce with an encouraging policy that promote the development of local technologies. Two, the government may establish training center for SMEs entrepreneur to offer them with technical and managerial courses. Three, the government should outline proper regulatory policies that friendly to SMEs. These three ways can bring long-term advantages to SMEs, help them to become relevant in the market, effective, productive, and innovative. This also give them lifeline to survive in this pandemic, so that they still can have meals to serve at their table. To conclude, problems that occurs brings implications that affect us, but we can still survive if we can think of options on how to manage the problems effectively and help the SMEs to make them productive and innovative, especially in this pandemic that badly affected them, especially in economy. Not just the SMEs economy, but the country's economy as well. The government must work hard to find the alternatives and ways to help the development of SME in Malaysia and also the economy of Malaysia so that all the SMEs less badly affected.